man, and we back with another episode of Against the Grain, man. I'm joined by my brothers, my lesser hosts. But before we do all of that, need to keep the merch, man. Go ahead and get you Against the Grain hoodie, man. Very exclusive, you know what I'm saying? Be Against the Grain with it all day. It's beautiful. We got the olive joint, my boy Will Chamberlain. Do not ask him why his name is Will Chamberlain. You know what I'm saying? Just between us. Say what's up to the people.
Definitely look black.
Yeah, it's the host with the most, your favorite, back again.
we got the father of the year, my boy Nick P, in the bright mustard yellow, but he bringing it off also with
canary yellow, my nigga, canary.
Go ahead, say what's up to the people, man.
Canary's a nice little.
Hey, you like that? Canary yellow. That's how we're gonna post it. Go ahead and get that canary yellow.
Thanks, boy. All right, cool. We're gonna transition to my boy Bees, man. Dark City's Bees. He has no hoodie on though. We don't have hoodie Bees.
The hoodie not on, but Against the Grain.
The hoodie on, but the hoodie not up.
That's right. Hey, nice topic, you feel me? For sure. You know what I'm saying? You already know it's your favorite host, man. Against the Grain, St. Louis, y'all what it is, man. Stand up. Hey, but we diving straight into this next topic, man. So, I've been kind of looking on social media, man, did a little bit of digging online, and I saw what I didn't think I would see. And I think we got some interesting things kind of going on in the world of politics, man. My man Ice Cube, man, NWA, you know what I'm saying, the brother's finest, the champion for the Black voice, has potentially, been working with the Trump administration for a progressive movement for Black people, man. It's called the Platinum Bill. And basically what that is a $500 billion stimulus package for Black Americans. Apparently, Ice Cube has presented, this plan, the stimulus package, Platinum plan, if you will, to both the left and right side. They said the Democratic Party said they will address it after they are elected. Trump administration said they'll look at it now and kind of look to enact some of those policies, man. So my man Ice Cube is getting killed on social media right now. I mean, trolled left and right. I know I have my thoughts, but I want to kick it off to the panel to see, what are y'all thoughts about this potential, platinum package, and how do you feel about Cube working with Trump? So I'll kick it off to Nick first.
I mean, I'm not mad at it because I think if you look at Black people, we shouldn't have loyalty to any party because every party has given us a short end of the stick. So the fact that Ice Cube has indeed not only identified as a problem, but also came back to provide a solution to the problem, I think it speaks volumes to Ice Cube and his character and the type of man he is. But secondly, I think what he did was the right thing because, given the fact how we have not been shown any type of appreciation from either party, we need to put it out there to see which one is going to bite. And I think the biggest issue I have with the Trump administration is Trump has a track record of not fulfilling obligations, whether it's from a political standpoint or whether he was, a real estate developer and he's not paying his contractors. You know what I'm saying? His GM. So I would love to do business with whoever wants to sign off on the deal. But even if the Trump administration were to sign off on the deal, bro, I have issue with them fulfilling their obligation and fulfilling their promise to the Black community. But I think that Black people need to understand that we should not be loyal to any party, and we do need to keep the door open and do business with who wants to do business with you. So I'm not mad at Cube. I think what Cube did was a brilliant move. I salute the brother for drawing up a plan, a solution, and not just being Mr. Twitter fingers online like we're seeing so many people do.
No, that's fair. That's fair. If I can kick it to Will real quick, I want you to comment on that, but also I want you to speak about the timing of the Trump administration kind of leaking this information about Cube, working with them on this package. Like, do you think that's an ulterior motive, or you think it came from just the purity of them trying to make good with the Black community?
Well, to first speak on the first point, I definitely think us as Black people, we need to stop thinking so emotionally rather than in a business aspect. Like, Cube is looking at it from a point of, can I get results from this? I don't care who it's with, but can I get results to help my people, regardless of who it is, who gets the results done? We need to stop looking at it as like Dr. Umar Johnson saw that video a couple days ago. He was saying,
"Yeah, doctor." I go ahead. My bad.
Whatever you want to classify him as, but he was saying you don't have to do business with people that you like. If you have, both of y'all can gain something from it or have a common ground, it don't matter if you like them or don't like them. As long as you gain, both of y'all are gaining something from it. To speak on the aspect of the timing of it, that goes back to having something to gain from it. Ice Cube's, he's trying to, gain something for Black people. Now Trump is probably taking his side of it, like, okay, maybe this will put me in the favor of some Black people towards the election time. Maybe this might take some of those Black people that was kind of on the fence about me and bring them over to my side. So, I mean, there's always going to be some type of ulterior motive behind, especially politicians, anything they do.
He need to drop another 1,200 stimulus joint for the next, couple of months, so then he might get a little bit more votes.
Hey, I will be mad.
2,400.
No, respect. Maybe that's why the $500 billion stimulus package that Cube trying to roll out. But Beasley, let me go ahead and hear your thoughts about one. Just talking about Cube kind of reaching over to the other side, if you will, and kind of trying to create a progressive plan for Black people. And two, we can talk about the timing, or you feel like that was the right thing to do, or you feel like that's a false move or kind of like a weak move. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, so I'm real big on definitions. I went to the definition of politics, and it says politics is about making agreements between people so they can live together in groups such as tribes, cities, countries, blah, 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 blah. Basically how we choose to govern ourselves with decisions. So like Will said, when we make an agreement, it's not about if we like somebody's character, or we like their personality, or even their past. We trying to make an agreement based on a desired future result. So even we in America right now, we want America to do certain things as a country to move us forward in a positive way. We can't say, oh, America did this in the past, so we don't want to do no deals, because that's not good business. And like Will said, we get so emotional about business that we don't really make business agreements. We just react. And so like, I seen some of the comments on Cube Instagram. He made a post 3 days ago. He was like, oh, he just a rich celebrity. He in a tax bracket that Trump is, giving tax breaks for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that may be true, but Cube still don't have to put together a $500 billion plan, or him and his team. He can easily just sit on his bread and not say anything. So him going out the window is not necessarily about like him he's trying to broker a deal, which is what business is about. Like he's trying to say, okay, because he's good. Q don't got to advocate for nobody. He don't have to, he's straight. So if he going out the window to even create a plan or have somebody else create a plan and bring it to two different parties and say, hey, I got an idea, who wants to work with me on it? And Trump happens to say, I'm interested. Like Nick said, he's not the most reliable as it comes to, getting deals done all the way through, but you still have to, you come into the table on the agreement and it says something that the Democrats are like, oh, we'll deal with that after. We'll deal with that once we sew this up. And that's the kind of Democratic mindset that's been, prevailing. Like, oh, we'll get y'all after we get the win. But then they get the win, and it's like, all right, we'll get y'all later, eventually, and they never get to us. And so, I get some people like, man, we might as well see what they're talking about over here, because maybe the Democrats tripping. Maybe we've been blind about Democrats for so long that we don't even know. Not saying Republicans not racist, but then it's like, man, Democrats racist too. So it's like, if I got to deal with a racist, I'm gonna deal with the one who gonna give me a deal. Like, who gonna do the agreement with me? I'm dealing with racists either way.
Yeah,
so,
but check this out, and this is the issue that I have, is like, whenever you're dealing with somebody, you also got to look at their track record. So it doesn't matter if the Trump administration agrees to it, gives us a yes, signs off on it. If you have a history of not fulfilling your part of the deal, fulfilling your obligation, then therefore it's still a lose-lose. My biggest thing is that I respect Q for trying to get it done, because like you said, he could have just sat back on his bread, not said nothing, made a couple tweets, made a couple posts, and went on about his day. But the fact that he assembled the team, he got people together, I'm sure he paid money to have this team come together, these group of lawyers, whatever their advisory board looked like, he still put time, money, and resources into it. I respect that to the utmost. Now, if we have to look at the people that we're trying to do business with, they both have piss poor credit. You know what I mean? Like, we're not dealing with no tier 1 type credit individuals. You know what I mean? Like, we're dealing with some subprime lending motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, somebody that's gonna need a cosigner. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and again, my biggest thing is I agree. You don't have to like whoever you do business with. It does not matter. You getting what you want out the deal, I'm getting what I want. You want black votes? Okay, black people want money and resources and opportunity. If you get that, you can get the vote, boom. You know what I'm saying? You can keep your belief system, just give me what's mine. You know what I'm saying? But again, I just don't have a lot of confidence, even though the Trump administration said they'll look at it. Bruh, like after looking, what you gonna do with it?
Man, I think that's my biggest thing too. So I think all of you all had great points. I think it's very virtuous that Ice Cube, who has no financial backing or horse in this race, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cube is gonna be good for life. His kids good for life. His grandkids and his great grandkids are good for life. So he has no means to kind of help the common black person. You know what I'm saying? The average black person. He's only doing this being a leader within our community. And the thing is that we've been so hypnotized by the media to think that the left party is so entrenched in the black community and the black struggle, and that they're going to pull us through everything that we don't even look to lobby. You know what I'm saying? And like, literally, lobbyists fuel political campaigns. You know what I'm saying? You gain, like you said, lawyers, you broker deals, you present some type of thing that you want out of your community, or out of your constituents, out of your business objective. You present it to the party who's going to listen and adhere those policies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think lobbyists have a political party. They just align with the people who are going to give them the most money or going to give them the most kickback. Like, hey, if I invest, a million some tax breaks to make sure that I make about 3 or 4 million whilst you're in office. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mutually beneficial relationship, as Nick said, and as Will said. You know what I'm saying? So if we get into the numbers, and then Trump is actually talking about kicking out certain funds to maybe like HBCUs, to kicking more money back into trade programs, looking to omit some debt in the black community, and talking about actually acquiring land or equity or ownership. And Trump is really the administration, and I would say the administration is not just Trump. You know what I'm saying? We often factor things into black and white. Biden is doing this, Trump does this. There's a whole bunch of checks and balances that we'll talk about later in our segments. But it's not just a Trump issue. But if that administration is going to listen and adhere to some of those policies, we need to have a seat at the table. We need to converse. And it doesn't have to be so dramatized. So I think the one thing the Trump administration did poor, amongst the many thousands of things that they do poorly, was leaking that information before it even gets to a point, as Nick was saying, to where it's solidified, to where you're going to the next steps. So we're talking about actual action point plans that you can implement within those policies to make sure that the black community is well taken care of, and that can secure those votes prior to you kind of leaking that information, saying, hey, Q likes us now, we're in the black community, give us some votes. Like, it's a ton of backlash on Q for kind of going out there. It's a ton of backlash on the administration, whom black people already hate, you know what I'm saying? From an emotional standpoint, for sure, but still, there's some legitimate reasons that coincide with it as well. So those are kind of my viewpoints on it, kind of throwing it back to y'all.
Kind of going off of what you said, I mean, like the backlash from releasing it on Cube, I mean, he was going to get that regardless of whenever it released. Just because, like I said, black people think so emotionally, and we're not thinking about it from a business standpoint, just because they say, oh, we hate Trump, we don't like anything he does. Anybody that works with him, we don't like, whether it could help us or not. We're not even looking at that. We're looking at the fact that we hate him, you working with him, so now we hate you too.
What is hate? Because we've never even met these people. BZ and Nick, let me get your last points before we wrap up.
I mean, like I said, it's
all go at once.
We gotta do our due diligence, as far as, I mean, Cube has already put a lot out there as far as getting a plan, a team, and all that stuff together. And if nothing else, it sparks a conversation or it sparks ideas. It may not lead to anything, so I don't have my hopes up, but you also come to the table trying to get an agreement. So I'm just like, there isn't really a lose in a situation other than time, but we haven't invested anything into creating this plan. So I don't have a problem with him bringing to the table.
All we're doing is criticizing. Nick, what you got? 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like I've been saying, is that I salute Q for doing it. I think more people need to step up that's in the position of influence to actually bring solutions and not just identify what the problem, what the gap is, but actually bridge that gap with a viable solution. So I mean, I salute Q. He can't control who he tries to do business with because right now we only got Democrats or Republicans. All he can do and what his job is just to put the plan in place and hope that they move from there. So. Salute to Q, bro.
For sure, for sure. But then, man, that's the wrap for the first segment, man. For this next segment, we're going to hop into if Trump is reelected, are we creating a dictatorship? Stay tuned. It's Against the Grain.